Hi students, welcome to lesson
20,
Family, Marriage and Kinship.
Part A.
The concept of social institutions is one of the most important aspects of study of sociology. It can be understood as the established patterns of behavior which governs the behavior of the individuals. Institutions are classified into primary and secondary. Primary institutions are most basic ones found even in primitive tribal societies like family, marriage, kinship, religion, etc. After the completion of this lesson, you will be able to understand the institutions of marriage and its forms in Indian society. You will be able to describe the family system in India with specific reference to joint family in India. Let us now discuss about marriage system in India. Marriage is one of the universal institutions and very closely related with the institution of family. Marriage helps two families to enter into kinship bond which expands with the expansion of family and thus grows into a complex web or network of kins and relationships. Apart from serving the biological functions, marriage also serves economic and religious functions. The bond of marriage is considered very sacred and everlasting. It is also associated with civil and religious ceremonies, creating mutual obligations. Marriage leads to establishment of families, which is basic to human groups, interaction and survival. Marriage has been defined in different ways, highlighting the various characteristics of this universal institution. For instance, H.T. Mazumdar defines marriage as a socially sanctioned union of male and female or as a secondary institution devised by society to sanction the union and mating of male and female for purpose of establishing household, entering into sex relations, procreating and providing care for the offspring. Let us now discuss about types of marriage. Marriage can be broadly categorized into polygamy and monogamy. Polygamy refers to marriage with more than one individual and monogamy is marrying to single individual. Polygamy assumes two forms, polygyny and polyandry. Polygyny means one male married to many females. Polyandry implies one female married to many males. Polygyny takes further two forms, sororal polygyny and non-sororal polygyny. Polyandry can be categorized into fraternal polyandry and non-fraternal polyandry. With specific reference to Indian society, the rules of endogamy and exogamy assume significance. Endogamy. Endogamy is a social rule of marriage that requires a person to select a spouse from within certain groups. These endogamous groups specifically refer to varna, caste and subcaste. Exogamy. Exogamy is a social rule which forbids selection of a spouse from certain groups like Gotra, Pravara, village and Pinda. The exogamous taboos were designed for the restriction of free marital relations between parents and offsprings and brothers and sisters. The two types of exogamy practiced by Hindus are Gotra exogamy and Sapinda exogamy. In few cases, besides Gotra and Sapinda, village is also treated as an exogamous group. Gotra is a group whose members are believed to have descended from one common mythical ancestor or a rishi. Initially, there were only 8 Gotras, but gradually their numbers increased. Sapinda means one who carries the particles of the same body. Sapinda relationship arises from being connected by having particles of the same ancestor. Marriage with such persons has been prohibited. Thus, a Sapinda relationship extends by way of ascent to 3 generations along the mother's side and to 5 generations along the father's side. Let us now talk about hypergamy or anuloma marriage. It is a social practice according to which a boy from upper varna, caste or class can marry a girl from lower varna, caste or class. Hypogamy or pratiloma marriages. It is a type of marital practice in which a man of lower class, caste, varna marries a girl of higher class, caste or varna. Such cases of Shudra Aryan connections are also recorded in our Vedic texts. Let us now discuss about Hindu marriages. Hindu marriage, a sacrament. Marriage is a sacrament and a matter of religious duty and has religious sanctity for Hindus. In the Hindu scheme of the ashramas, one can enter the much praised Grihasth ashrama only after marriage. With the marriage sacrament, man and a woman as husband and wife establish the family, the home or griha. Grihastha ashrama is not merely a biological necessity but is well thought out social institution, since this ashrama also supports brahmacharya and vanapastha ashrama. The aims of Hindu marriages are dharma, that is righteousness or the performance of duty, praja, that is progeny, and rati, that is pleasure. Of these, dharma was given the greatest importance, followed by procreation and sex gratification. Hindu marriage was considered to be a social duty towards the family and the community. Traditional forms of Hindu marriages can be categorized into prahastha or approved or desirable marriages and aprahastha or disapproved or undesirable marriage. There are 4 forms of prahastha marriages. Firstly, Brahma Vivaha, which is considered as the purest form of marriage. In this form of marriage, the father offers his daughter to a man of character and learning. Secondly, Daiva Vivaha. In this form, the father gives away his daughter as a dakshina or a sacrificial fee to a young priest who officiates the yajna which is arranged by him. Thirdly, Arsha Vivaha. The father gives his daughter in a marriage to the bridegroom after receiving a cow and a bull or 2 pairs of these from the bridegroom in accordance with the requirements of dharma. Fourthly, Prajapatya Vivaha. The father makes a gift of daughter by addressing the couple with the mantra, "May both of you perform together your dharma." There are also 4 forms of aprahastha marriage. Firstly, Asura Vivaha. The bridegroom has to give money to the father or kinsman of the bride. The main consideration of the marriage is money. The bride in this form of marriage is virtually purchased. Secondly, Gandharva Vivaha. The girl selects her husband by herself. In fact, both boy and girl love each other, prevalent among Gandharva tribe living in the slopes of Himalayas. Thirdly, Rakshasa Vivaha. It is the forcible induction of a maiden from her home while she weeps and cries after her kinsmen have been slain. It is the capture of bride by force. Here, the bridegroom does not take the consent of the girl but simply forces her to marry. Fourthly, Paisacha Vivaha. The man seduces by force a girl who is sleeping or intoxicated or disordered in intellect. Let us now talk about marriage rites. Several rites and ceremonies, that is vidhi, are performed in Hindu marriages. Of these rites are Vagdana, that is oral promise, Kanyadana, that is giving away of the maiden or the girl. The Vivaha Homa rite requires having placed a millstone to the west of the fire, which is kindled symbolically as a divine witness and sanctifier of the samskara. The Pani Grahana, that is holding the hand. The Agni Parinayana, that is walking around the sacred nuptial fire. The Asmarohana, that is mounting the stone. The large homa, bride offers the sacrifice homa of fried grain, which is poured in her hands by her brother or a person acting in her brother's place. And the Saptapadi, Sapta, that is 7, Pada, that is step, near the nuptial altar in North Indian Hindu marriages, application of vermilion or sindoor on the forehead of the bride by the bridegroom is an important ritual without which the marriage is not complete. In South Indian marriages, Mangalya Dharana is an important ritual which involves the act of tying the Mangal Sutra, that is sacred black beads, round the neck of the bride by the bridegroom. After the Vivaha rites are duly carried out at the bride's parents' home, the wedded couple start out on their journey to the bridegroom's home, and this is also to be done ceremoniously and with due rites. Therefore, next follows the rite of Griha Pravesha. Griha, that is home, Pravesha, that is entry. Each rite is important and involves several implications of a social nature. Hindu Marriage Act 1955 is the law relating with Hindu marriage in India. Let us also discuss about Muslim marriages. Marriage among Muslims is a religious, social and a secular bond. The laws of marriage are regulated by Holy Quran. Marriage in Muslim society is religious duty and is devotion and an act of ibadat. Marriage proposal and its acceptance, that is ijab is proposal and kubul is acceptance, must take place at the same time and meeting in order to make it a sahih nikah. A proposal made at one meeting and its acceptance at another meeting does not constitute a regular marriage. The proposal and acceptance of marriage contract must be witnessed by two male Muslims. Only adult persons of sound mind can enter into marriage contract. However, the marriage of a minor could be contracted by his or her guardians. The right to contract marriage on behalf of a minor is given by the Shia law successively to father, father's father, brother and other male relations in order of inheritance. Meher or dower is a practice associated with Muslim marriage. Dower is the sum of money or other property which a wife is entitled to get from her husband in consideration of marriage. Dower is imposed upon husband as a mark of respect for wife. Its main purposes are: firstly, to put a check on the husband to divorce wife. Secondly, to enable a woman to look after herself after her husband's death or divorce. Meher is not bride price, for the wife is not purchased. The Muslim law does not fix the amount of meher. It is normally decided along with marriage discussions. The amount of meher depends upon the social position, descent, age, etc. of the marriage parties. According to Muslim law, provisions of divorce are khula or kol and mubarat. In khula, the divorce is initiated at the instance of wife. In mubarat, both the parties desire separation and initiative can be from either side. Talaq represents one of the ways according to which a Muslim husband can give divorce as per Muslim law without the intervention of the court. The Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019 is an act of the Parliament of India criminalizing triple talaq. In August 2017, the Supreme Court of India declared triple talaq, which enables a Muslim men to instantly divorce their wives, to be unconstitutional. The divorce can be obtained by the judicial decree from the court under the Muslim Marriage Dissolution Act 1939. Accordingly, a woman is entitled to obtain a decree for the dissolution of marriage on grounds like failure of husband to provide for her maintenance for a period of 2 years, or imprisonment of husband for 7 years or more, desertion by the husband for 4 or more years, failure of husband to perform marital obligations for a period of 3 years, impotency of husband since the time of marriage, insanity of husband for a period of 2 years, or husband's incurable diseases or husband's physical and mental cruelty. Iddat plays an important role in Muslims' divorce cases. Iddat denotes a period of awaiting and refers to a period of seclusion for 3 menstrual periods for a woman after the death of the husband or divorce by her husband to ascertain whether she was pregnant at the time of divorce. Let us now talk about family system in India. Marriage leads to formation of family, which is the most important primary group and most elementary form of society. It is universal institution which has existed throughout the history of mankind and which is very important for the survival of the society. Let us now discuss about the traditional joint family in India. The concept of jointness in the term joint family has varied with different scholars. When some scholars like Iravati Karve regard co-residentiality as important factor in jointness, other scholars like B.S. Cohn, S.C. Dubey, Harold Gold, Pauline Kolenda and Ramakrishna Mukherjee regard co-residentiality and commensality as essential ingredients of jointness. Yet, other scholars like F.G. Bailey and T.N. Madan give importance to joint ownership of property or co-parcenary, irrespective of type of residence and commensality, and few other scholars like I.P. Desai give importance to fulfillment of obligations towards kin even if residence is separate and there is no common ownership of property. According to Iravati Karve, the ancient family in India, especially in the Vedic and epic periods, was joint in terms of residence, property and functions. She terms this family as traditional family or joint family. K.M. Kapadia, however, maintains that our early family was not joint or patriarchal alone. Side by side with the patriarchal families, we had individual families too. But in spite of this trend towards individualism, the family was maintained as joint and agnatic. Iravati Karve has given 5 characteristics of traditional joint family, that is common residence, common kitchen, common property, common family worship and some kinship relationship. Thus, her criteria of jointness are size, residence, property and income. On this basis, she defines joint family as a group of people who generally live under one roof, who eat food cooked at one hearth, who hold property in common, who participate in common family worship and who are related to each other as some particular type of kindred. Ramakrishna Mukherjee, while giving 5 types of relations, that is conjugal, parental filial, inter-siblings, lineal and affinal, has maintained that a joint family is one which consists of one or more of the first 3 types of relations and either lineal or affinal relations among the members. A joint family is a multiplicity of genealogically related nuclear families, joint in residence and commensal relations and functioning under one authority. It also been defined as 2 or more co-resident and commensal kinship units. Let us now summarize this lesson. The process of globalization and cosmopolitanism has influenced the primary institutions of family, marriage and kinship to a great extent. The structure, functions and values inherent in these institutions have undergone immense changes. The selection of mates is being done by the usage of technology, that is matrimonial websites. There are increasing instances of parents staying alone in India with their children settled abroad. The old age homes and daycare centers seem to become more prominent, with family as an institution undergoing change. It is in stark contrast to the joint family system, which provided social security and care to the elderly and children. The infants and children are being sent to creche centers and play schools.